The engines were already shaking the sky before anyone even saw them. High above the clouds, hundreds of bombers moved in slow, steady formation. Their metal wings caught the pale light, flashing as they cut through the cold air. The sound carried for miles, deep, constant, heavy enough to make the ground tremble below. Inside each aircraft, gunners waited in silence, eyes scanning, fingers resting near triggers. They weren't seeing anything yet, but they knew something could appear at any moment. Bomber formations weren't just groups of planes. They were built to be untouchable. Heavy armor protected vital sections. Machine guns covered every direction, nose, tail, above, below. Each aircraft shielded the one beside it, forming a moving wall of fire. Any fighter that tried to break through usually lasted only seconds. That was the theory. But during 1 week of the war, something changed. Crews began reporting the same encounter. Not a squadron, not multiple fighters, just one. It appeared suddenly, diving out of nowhere, often from above. Too fast to track, too sudden to stop. A short burst of gunfire, then damage. Smoke trailing from an engine, a wing tearing apart. Sometimes, an entire bomber falling out of formation. And then, nothing. The fighter was gone. Again and again, the reports came in. Another bomber lost. Then another. By the end of the week, the number reached something even experienced airmen struggled to believe. 20 bombers destroyed, all by a single pilot. And that raised a far more dangerous question, because bomber formations were designed to survive exactly this kind of attack. So how was one pilot breaking through them over and over again? The answer began with timing. Interceptor pilots climbed high above incoming bombers, sometimes thousands of feet higher. From there, they watched. They studied the formation, its speed, its shape, the small gaps between aircraft. Then came the moment that mattered most. The dive. Dropping out of the sun, using gravity to build speed, the attack lasted only seconds. Too early, and the gunners would react. Too late, and the chance was gone. Timing had to be perfect, and this pilot, he mastered it. But that still didn't explain everything, because even perfect timing shouldn't lead to 20 kills in a single week, which meant he was doing something more, something far more dangerous. Most pilots kept their distance, hundreds of meters, enough space to fire and escape. He ignored that completely. He got much closer, sometimes less than 100 meters from the target. At that distance, there was no guesswork. The bomber filled his entire view. One short burst could destroy engines, ignite fuel, or tear the aircraft apart completely, and often it did. But the risk was brutal. Explosions sent debris flying in every direction, metal fragments, burning fuel, pieces of aircraft breaking apart right in front of him. There was no time to react. One mistake, one hesitation, and it was over. Yet he kept choosing that distance, again and again. The most dangerous moment came midweek. The sky filled not with one formation, but many. Layered waves of bombers stretched across the horizon, dozens of aircraft overlapping in firepower. The air itself felt crowded, controlled, deadly. Most pilots would make one pass and leave. He didn't. He attacked, climbed, turned, and dove back in, again and again. Each pass lasted seconds, but demanded absolute precision. His aircraft strained under constant climbs and dives. The engine pushed beyond its limits. There was no margin left, and the bombers adapted. Formations tightened. Gunners stopped being surprised. They started waiting. Now, every attack was expected. Every approach covered. And still, he kept coming. This wasn't just skill anymore. It was endurance. Each dive forced blood downward. Vision narrowed. Each climb pulled hard against the body, draining strength. There was no rest, only repetition. The aircraft suffered too. Engines overheated, controls stiffened. Every movement carried the risk of failure. And through it all, constant gunfire. No protection, no backup, just speed and instinct. By the end of the week, 20 bombers were gone. But something else was gone too, the margin for survival. Each pass came closer to disaster. Each decision carried less room for error, because in that sky, skill could only take you so far. After that, it became something else, and that something never lasted forever. Stories like this sound clean, 1 pilot, 20 victories. But the reality was heavier. Every bomber carried a crew, men relying on formation, on each other, on the belief they were protected. Every attack wasn't just a kill. It was survival against survival. The pilot proved something undeniable, that precision, timing, and nerve could break even the strongest defenses. But he also revealed something darker. By that stage of the war, the sky had changed. It wasn't about strategy alone anymore. It was about seconds, decisions, and how long a person could keep making them under fire. Which leaves one final question. How long could anyone fight like that before the sky finally claimed them too?